Hey guys, this is Stephanie and I'm Stacks on Stacks on Stacks. Today I'm coming to you with a Monday Reads, and I know I was trying to keep these videos nice and short. I'm having a hard time with that because I'm talking about so many books. Basically, I'm trying to do a Monday Reads about every 4 books I read, but I didn't have time, and then I had a cold and I didn't want to have to blow my nose and edit all that out, so I waited, and now I've read 8 books. It's just how it goes sometimes. So I'm still trying to keep these pretty quick. Yeah. Okay, so the first couple books I'm going to talk about are the Chronicles of Narnia, number 3, 4, and 5. We have A Horse and His Boy. We have Prince Caspian, and then we have Voyage of the Dawn Treader. And I read these over the last 3 weeks since I had a last Monday Reads, I suppose. I am doing a buddy read with Mystery Date with a book. I can link her channel down below. She's fantastic. And she wanted to do a buddy read with these. I am currently reading, what is the one I'm reading? The Silver Chair. I'm currently reading The Silver Chair. And then I'm supposed to read The Last Battle, but I might not finish that one on time. I'll tell you why in a bit. I gave The Horse and His Boy 3 stars. This is probably one of my least favorite ones of the Narnia books because it barely has any of our original siblings in it. And I don't know, I just never really liked it. Though I will say I enjoyed it more this time than I have in times past. Then Prince Caspian, which is probably my second least favorite. And it's funny because everybody loves this one and I'm like the only person in the world who's like, I feel like not a lot happens in this one. And I know that these are kid books. I know. And I feel like sometimes it's like, this is the problem. And then we solved it. The end. And that's a kid's book thing. But that's what happens. And it's so like beyond formulaic and simple. And I'm just like, ugh. But it is a kid's book. I remember the movie. I think I only saw it like once. And I remember there was like a love thing between Caspian and Susan. And I was like, that doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. So, I don't know. I gave it 3 stars. It's not my favorite. This is my favorite. Voyage of the Dawn Treader, I gave 5 stars. It is my favorite in the Narnia books. There's so much action. So much happens. They get on a boat and they go and they discover all of these islands that are like different. And they have people that look like mushrooms. And then they have people that are giants. And they have like just so many different things. And I'm like, I love that one. So this one is my fave. It was my favorite before. It's still my favorite now. The next 2 will be interesting because I've only read those one time. These I've probably read like 5 and 6 times. But the last 2, I think I've only read them each once. So maybe my opinions will change. Next, I read Matilda by Roald Dahl. Yet another kid book. And I think I gave it 3 stars. 3 stars personally and technically. This is a book that is about a girl who is incredibly bright for her age, and she is with a family that doesn't appreciate her intelligence. Like, they tell her you're stupid and shut up, and they're very verbally abusive. On top of which they're like, why are you trying to eat healthy? Don't eat healthy. Sit down and watch TV with us. Why are you reading a book? And things like that. But then again, she does like get pretty snarky. Like, she's not a doormat to her family. Like, when her family's like, don't do that, she has her little rebellious ways. But I do enjoy how smart she is and how ambitious she is. The problem I kind of had with this book is the escalation of force, you could say. Basically, her parents, like her dad, says she's stupid and something crappy to her. And she doesn't lay down and take it. She like puts bleach in his shampoo or something. And so like versus the small rebellious of, no, I'm not stupid, rather than say that to her father or speak up or do anything, I don't know, minor or on the same level, she puts bleach in his shampoo. So like she takes it from here to here immediately because she's, and I mean, I know she's hurt. I know it's not okay. You don't treat kids that way. But at the same time, I'm like, she really goes extreme with these retaliations. She really does. And then at one point she basically gets telekinesis and I'm like, oh, so she's like Carrie and she can move things with her mind and kill people. But then they do kind of play that off as a small little thing like, oh, it was just in the heat of the moment and I needed to be able to do it, so I could. And I'm like, this could get real dark real fast. It is a little dark, but all in all, it was a 3-star book. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. It was fine. I read it because my niece is going to be in the musical version of this. She will be Miss Honey at the end of this month, and I'm looking forward to seeing her in that. Next, I'm going to talk about my book club pick for January, which was Scythe by Neil Shusterman. I gave this one 5 stars. I enjoyed this book. Not everybody in our book club enjoyed this book, and I kind of like that when it happens with a book because then we get better discussion about pros and cons and stuff like that. So there were a few things I thought about when I was reading this book that I was like, that doesn't quite add up. But then there were more mentioned when we were discussing it, but it really wasn't enough to sway my opinion. I still gave it 5 stars. I still really enjoyed the characters, the arcs of the characters. I enjoyed the world, and I read it really quickly. I think I read it in 2 or 3 days. Like, I read it fast. And most of you guys probably know what this is about, but basically this is like a futuristic utopian society where we have already solved all of the things that would kill somebody. So even like jumping off a building, you have these nanos or nanites in your blood system, and they will heal you, and you can go splat, and then you're fine. You'll still live, basically. So nothing kills you, and the world is becoming overpopulated. So then they have people become these scythes, and then the scythes choose who dies and how and all that kind of stuff. They have a set amount of people that they have to glean every year. And then there are some rules for scythes and stuff like that. So basically in our story, we have a man who is a scythe who gets 2 apprentices that he is going to train so that they can be scythes. And in the midst of their training, at one point, they are pitted against each other. So basically they find out that only one of them can be a scythe. And the first gleaning they will do will be to the other. Dun, dun, dun. This was pretty good. One of the problems I did have, and I thought about this when I was reading the book, I'm like, if they have solved like all body problems and everything, and people are living to be like 100 years old or older, and they like get work done, so like, you know, they could be 90, but now they look 20 again and things like that, and do like, oh, I divorced him when I was 40 and I married this guy and I was married to him for 20 years, then I divorced him and I whatever. If you can do all that, why don't you just say, okay, then in your lifespan, you can have 1 child for every 25 years of your life. Why don't they do something like that? That would control the population, and then they wouldn't have to kill as many people. They would still have to kill some, but not as many if we're only having 1 child for every 25 years. I know then you'd also be raised as an only child and stuff like that, but I feel like they should be able to control the rate of conception if they can control the rate of death. Just a thought. But I still loved it. I still gave it 5 stars. The next book I read was a buddy read called Warrior of the Wild. And this is by Trisha Levenseller, who I have a couple books by her. I don't have this one, obviously. But I did this buddy read with Serenity Dawn for the month of February. We read this together. As far as I know, this is a standalone. And it is about a girl. See, first it was pitched to me as like a Viking story, but it's really not, outside of the axe. Basically, it's about a girl who wants to be a warrior in her tribe, and for a reason, she is denied that, and she's thrown out into the wilderness, and she has to survive in the wilderness and complete a nearly impossible task if she ever wants to go back to her village again. And it is about her surviving in the wilderness, the trials, things that happen, all that kind of stuff. And like I said, it's a standalone and it's fiction, and I don't hear a lot of fiction standalone that are YA, but this one was good. I gave it 4.5 stars. I liked it. I thought it was well told, and I enjoyed the characters, I enjoyed the world, and I would read another book by her. I enjoyed this one. The next book I read was Make Your Bed, Things That Can Change Your Life and Maybe the World by William H. McRaven. I gave this one 3 stars, and I listened to this one, and this is read by a guy who's like ex-military. Actually, he might currently be in the military. I don't remember that part. But he basically talks about like some good rules to live your life by. So the whole make your bed thing is, I accomplished something today. I made my bed. So even if the end of the day comes and it's been a really frustrating day at work and everything sucks and all you want to do is cuddle up on the couch with your dog and watch Project Runway, at least you made your bed today. That's basically the whole concept of the book. It was a 3-star book. It was good. It wasn't great. It was interesting. They had like some sayings in there which I thought were good. Like they really were enforcing, don't give up, believe in yourself. You know you can make a difference. Every person makes a difference. Like really good things, but at the same time I was kind of like, I don't know, it's a little too, you can do it for me. And I do think I heard some of the same things in a Brene Brown book that I was reading, only said in a slightly different way. So whatever, it is what it is. So fear not, we're almost done. I have 2 more books that I'm going to go through that I read, and they're both rereads. So I don't know if you've noticed a pattern with my reading so far this year, but I basically am reading books that I am buddy reading, book club books, or rereads. I'm reading very few books that are actually like, ooh, I want to pick stuff, because I don't know, I'm in a weird reading mood. I don't know what I want to read. I don't know what I want to pick up. So It is what it is. The first one I read was Cinder by Marissa Meyer. I have only read this book once, years and years ago, but I loved it. And I gave it 5 stars. I gave it 5 stars again. I still love it. I just think it's so great. April Sarah is hosting a reread of the Lunar Chronicles. Cinder is the February book. Scarlet is March. And then April, I'm saying books in order and months in order. This is difficult. April would be Cress. May is Winter. And then I don't know if Stars Above's in there or not. And then she's going to do a reread of the Renegade series as well. I'm probably not going to do the Renegade one because I just read it. But I am going to do the Lunar Chronicles one. And I am not certain that I will be reading the right books in the right months. Because I finished this one and I forgot how it finished. And now I'm like, I want to read Scarlet. It's all I've ever wanted. So I might just pick up Scarlet. I finished it like 2 days ago and I'm just like, it's all I want to read. So I might pick up Scarlet. I might not. I don't know. I kind of want to. And then in the readathon, they're not including the novellas and, well, at least Fairest, and then the 2 graphic novels, but I will be reading those. Yes. The other one I reread is Ruby Red by Kristen Gear. I love these. I haven't read these in forever. So I reread this in like day and a half, maybe. Loved it so much. And I was just like, these books are so good. They're so good. So I gave it 5 stars. That's what it is. Oh, this is about, what is this about? I'll tell you what this is about. It's about a girl named Gwyneth. Basically, in Gwyneth's family, the females have a time travel gene, and there's like 1 person per generation gets it. She doesn't have it. Her cousin has it. So her cousin has been training her whole life, like with fencing lessons and learning languages and dances and all this stuff, so that she'll be prepared when she goes back in time. That's the other thing. With this gene, you can go back in time. With this time travel gene, you can't go forward in time. And then there's some other rules and things attached to it. And then at the beginning of the book, you find out that her cousin is not the one with the time travel gene. Gwyneth is. What? I know, none of us saw that coming. And so then it's like her adventures of being unprepared. Now she has to go travel through time. She doesn't know what in the snot she's doing. And it's just wonderful and enchanting and fantastic. And I just want to read the rest of it. Yep. So those are the 8 books I did read. Now on to the books that I'm going to be reading. I will be finishing Silverchair. I'm about halfway through it right now, which is the 6th book in the Chronicles of Narnia series. I also am about halfway through Sapphire Blue, and then I will be picking up Emerald Green as well. I imagine I will get these read pretty quickly because I'm just loving the story right now. I just am. I will be picking up Thunderhead at some point. I'm not sure if I'll get it in the next couple weeks or not, but I will be picking this up soon-ish. And I also am reading Before the Devil Breaks You by Libba Bray. This one I'm only like a quarter of the way into. I started it actually like 2 weeks ago, and then I set it down. And then I picked it back up like 2 days ago, and I want to get this one read so that I can read the new one, which just came out a couple of days ago, but I'm going to wait to get it on audio from my library and I will listen to it, but I got to read this one first. So I'm not even a quarter of the way into it. I'm 109 pages into it, and it's about 550 pages. So I'm a fifth of the way through it. Anyway, I'm enjoying it. It is the 3rd in the Diviners series, which I've talked about before. And you can just go find a video where I talked about it if you really want to know what it's about. Like I said, I might be picking up Scarlet as well. And then I do have a book club pick, which I will be picking up shortly, called The Address by Fiona Davis, I think. And I don't know a lot about this one. I think it's like a dual timeline, so it takes place in like the 20s. And then nowadays, and it's about a house and the people who live in the house. That's all I got. I don't really know what it's about. But, you know, I'll read it and then I'll know. And then I have a small stack of graphic novels upstairs sitting by my couch, and I might be picking those up this weekend. I suddenly had a graphic novel kick like a week and a half ago, and I just went to my library and I got a bunch of graphic novels. And I haven't read any of them yet, but I'm kind of like, ooh, I want to read all those. So hopefully I can just get another one of these Monday reads in soon, so it won't be like a 15-minute video. Yeah, that's a dream. But I think that is it. That is all I have for you guys today. Go ahead and comment down below with what your reading mood has been like so far this year. Have you been like, oh, I want to read all the sci-fi or all the contemporary, or my reading consists of sitting and watching old episodes of Grey's Anatomy? Whatever it is, y'all, just tell me. I'd love to know. It truly does interest me what you guys are currently reading. But comment with that down below. Feel free to like, feel free to subscribe, feel free to get a really good night's sleep tonight, because sleep is important, my friend. I'll talk to you soon. Goodbye.